So the golden ratio is something very unique. I think when you see on the screen here, there is a particular pattern and there is a particular measurement, and then there is a particular sequence which happens as we go along. So basically, golden ratio is something which is a standard universal ratio or a measurement which you go on measuring, it will be the same. Like when you see the flowers petal, when they bloom out. So when you look at them, they all have a sequence, they all have a pattern. This is where when you look at it, it is called a golden sequence or a golden mean or a golden ratio. That means you measure, it's the same. So what is a golden ratio is something very unique, and they take this opportunity to share on the 88th episode, which is something beautiful, and which is, I think, from the Chinese point of view, the number 8 and 8 is a very, very lucky number, and it indicates a lot of money and a lot of things can happen to infinity. And incidentally, I've chosen a topic also which is something to do with infinite beings on this planet Earth. We human beings are all infinite beings, and the universe is also an infinite situation where you can see a lot of things which is infinite, which is sometimes we think it is limited, but it is unlimited, and then things go on. So 88 is something very, very special to me and to my heart, because it's a beautiful journey. I've been walking for 88 episodes, something very beautiful. So before I proceed, thank you very much to one and all. Because of you that I'm down here to give you this beautiful sharing. No doubt the coming week is going to be Raya, and then festival mood is already on. There will be a lot of, but whoever is on this platform today is good enough for us to move forward. Let's move forward with a colorful in the center. What you see is it's a colorful face, what you see, and the journey of our terrahas on the road. We are all being there. It's a colorful journey we are all having. Thank you very much. Saying that, what is golden ratio is the most, common mathematical ratio in nature. And I wouldn't know if our company had looked forward to manufacture our device, which looks something like what you see on the right side here. Can you see the sequences here? It's been starting from this first one, second, third, fourth, and fifth, when you see here. And this particular is a design which has a sequence. And when you look at that, it's our device is also looking something similar to that. So I think there must be something to do with the golden ratio. And incidentally, I picked up this information. Then I thought, let me put it across and then see it's a golden ratio. I think our device has the golden ratio, and definitely there is a lot of positive thing happening because of this device. And then the water, when it gets resonated, a lot of positive things are happening. On the left side, you see a beautiful the water splash. It's also the golden ratio, what you see there. Now, in this slide, you should be able to see it's like a conch shell, conch shell. Now, what exactly is this? The other name, or in terms of when you're talking about golden ratio, is it's also called phi, PHI, the symbol what you see on the left side. And this particular, we call it as a sequence, golden ratio sequence or Fibonacci sequence. Now, when you talk about Fibonacci sequence, this particular person who invented this particular sequence, when you look at that, you add on the previous number, you will get the next number. So can you see here? 1 plus 0, the first one is 0, 1 plus 0 is 1, then you go with 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, 5 plus 3 is equal to 8, 8 plus 3 is 13. So the sequence goes on something like that. So there is a sequence which happens on this golden ratio. And when you can draw a diagram making this, using these numbers, there is a golden ratio sequencing happening. And this, when you look at the designs from our ancient ancestors, and right from the Babylon to the Georgian scriptures, you will see that it looks so beautiful. The moment you see that particular architecture, your visual, it's a visual treat for us, because there is a beautiful sequence in it. There's a beautiful arrangement in it. Now, in this ratio, when you look at the number, you should be able to get 1.6. That's what is this particular golden ratio is all about. So whenever you're talking about a particular square, if it's a square, we need to talk about 1:1.6. So when it is 1:1.6, it's called a golden ratio. Or by itself, when you're taking anything at 1.6 measurement, it's also a golden ratio. So when you talk about this golden ratio, the say Fibonacci sequence or the phi, it all relates with something nature. When you're talking about nature, what you see all in this photograph is basically it is showing us something so beautiful that it is, it looks very nice, and then it looks so beautiful that right from the conch shell to the plants, everything there is something like a beautiful diagram there. So nature is always goes with the sequence. Only thing, we as human beings, we are not following that sequence, and that is how in today's journey of life you will see that we do face a lot of issues because we are going out of the way to do things, and then finally there is no proper ratio. In fact, in India, we have the Vastu specialists, just like the Feng Shui masters in Malaysia. We do have Vastu specialists in India, and they do operate this particular thing called golden ratio. That means if your room, for example, I'll just give you an example. You want to build a room, maybe your hall, a living room. They will build in such a way that one side it is 10 feet, the other side is 16 feet. 10 and 16. That means it's 1:1.6. This is the ratio they will build that particular room. So when you have a particular room with this kind of ratio, that means the energy flow in that particular room will be very beautiful. That's why it's called golden ratio. And it's a very, very popular ratio in India, especially to build your house. Even the gates, when they prepare it, will be 1:1.6. Your prayer altar room will be 1:1.6. Your bedroom will be 1:1.6. Like that, they used to follow in the Vastu and in Indian Feng Shui. You can call it as an Indian Feng Shui. So when they follow this ratio, there will be a lot of beautiful sequencing. There will be a lot of proper nature's energy flow. There will be a lot of good luck happening in that particular home which is built on that ratio. In fact, when you see a lot of people following the Vastu principle or the what I would say is our Feng Shui in India, the Indian Feng Shui, they would look at all these minute things. Even a statue, when they buy, they would look at this golden ratio and then they will pick it up. So in that way, when you follow the sequence of our golden ratio, there is a lot of natural blending of ourselves with the nature. So this is something beautiful. We all need to get into the nature. And when you see in this particular slide, you can see even your thumb impression. The thumb impression also goes with the golden ratio. And one of the most beautiful example for a golden ratio is your sunflower. Can you believe in one sunflower, there are 1,000 sunflowers inside that particular sunflower, and all arranged in such a beautiful, arch manner where it looks very beautiful, like the conch shell, what you see on the left side there. Even a chicken egg, you see, there is a beautiful golden ratio in that. And even trees, when they grow, okay, you can see that they also branch in the same way as 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. It happens like that. So that means nature naturally follows the sequence of this particular golden ratio. And only thing, we human beings don't know that there is something like this, and then we need to follow the golden ratio. It will help us to blend with nature. And then by blending with nature, what is a benefit? Definitely there is a lot of good benefits when we blend with nature. Is we walk along with nature. This is what. Whereas when you look at the animals, they all follow the nature's plan of golden ratio, and they will just go with it. And when you look at that, even the honeybee, when they build their honey nest, it is also in the golden ratio principle only they will be building a nest. And when you take a beautiful bird's nest, also they will build a house or the nest in the same golden ratio principle. Now you and I will be wondering, how come a bird which is only three-sensed animal can follow the nature's way of golden ratio. Now, for them, the nature has given a standard protocol. That means they just follow the instinct which is inbuilt. So they don't need to change. They will build a golden ratio nest only. Now, we as human beings, what happened was we were given an option to use our mind, which is open. That means there is no restriction for us to use our mind. There is no particular way that we need to follow. We can use the way we want. But the most beautiful part is such human beings. It can be our saints, it can be our masters, it can be our gurus, it can be our spiritual guides. Now, when you look at, they normally tend to blend themselves in terms of living with nature. They will blend with nature. That's why if you see a lot of people who are all living, we call them as Orang Asli, right? People who live in the natives, you can call them as natives. Now, their lifestyle, if you see, will be very, very beautiful, very simple, very down to earth people with a lot of humbleness, with a lot of love with them, and their requirement to live on planet Earth will be very, very minimal. But saying that, when they can live, be people who are all living in the cities, our requirements, many things we won't be able to follow the golden rule because our buildings and all are concrete jungle. So we may not be, but still I would request that we all should get with nature. Once in a while, maybe once in a month, get to nature, enjoy the nature, be with flowers, and especially flowers. You should be placing a lot of flowers in your home because they emit a lot of positive vibration. And our human body, if you see our human body, I am surprised actually, right from our nose to our lips, to the eyes, to the forehead, everything is very, very sequenced. Something very beautiful. And this is what the nature has already created for us. And our body itself is a golden ratio everywhere, right from your cell to the organs to our whole body. When you look at it, is all in the golden frequency, golden ratio sequence. Now, when you look at the pyramids, and on the other side, it can be especially the temples in India, they all are built in the platform of a golden ratio. Now, how did they know about it? I wouldn't know, but definitely those days, the people who are building the temples in India, the massive temples, all, if you look at the way the eyes to the nose, to the hands, to the height of the idols and the architecture, the pillars, everything was all with the golden ratio. And that is where it's something astonishing that our ancestors didn't have the latest artificial intelligence technology, but still they had the ways to bring out their intelligence in the form of architecture and drawings. How did it happen? Is they were with nature all the time, and that's how the universe was blessing them with a lot of information naturally. There's a lot of download. They used to connect their USB to the cosmic library and get all the information. But today, you and me, we all need a mobile phone, we need a computer, we need some gadgets to connect. Even to go to a particular place or to a particular area, we need a Google map. Without the map, we cannot move forward. We have become so addicted. We want a machine to show us how to go. We want an app to guide us how to go. That means, do you want to use your brain or not? Most of us are become an addict to the apps. So what will happen is, if you're looking at the next generation, maybe after another 20, 30 years with the artificial intelligence coming in, we all will lose our common sense. We all will lose our intelligence of even using our brain, because there's nothing to use. Right now, you already know you want to go to a particular place. There is a Google car. You just go inside and tell where you want to go. Just sit behind and tell to the car where you want to go. The car will take you. So at the end of the day, where you want to use your intelligence? We are actually going down the drain where we are not. No doubt it's a good thing, but on the other side, I would request we all need to do certain things to use our brain and start looking at how to develop and make our brain work more in form of innovating, in form of new inventions. This is all we all need to do. No doubt human beings are doing a great job, But at the end of the day, now we as individual human beings, we are being lost in this concrete jungle where we want everything to be machine guided.